My beloved child, come closer in your heart and breathe slowly, for tonight is not like other nights. There is a stirring in the heavens, a whisper in the unseen, and the atmosphere around you is shifting in ways you may not yet understand. I feel the weight of it in my spirit, like the soft trembling of the earth before a mighty rain. And I must tell you what I feel, for this is not a moment to be careless or distracted. This night carries a message, a warning, and a divine invitation. As I speak to you, imagine the quiet of the night settling around you. The world grows still, yet in the quiet, something begins to move above you. Gentle, deliberate, holy. It is as if the veil between the natural and the spiritual has thinned. And my child, when heaven begins to move like this, it means the King is near, and his messengers are already descending. Jesus, the gentle shepherd of your soul, is leaning toward you tonight. His eyes, filled with love and fire, are watching over you. And beside him stands Archangel Michael, the mighty warrior of the Lord, sword glowing with heavenly fire. This is not a scene of fear, but of urgent love. For when Jesus and Michael stand together, it means heaven is preparing to release something significant, something that your spirit must be awake to receive. There are moments when the Lord desires to visit his children, not with thunder, not with terror, but with a message so sacred and so timely that only those who are spiritually awake can hear it. And tonight, my child, such a visitation is moving toward you. It is not random. It is not accidental. Heaven has chosen this night to whisper something into your spirit. You may feel a soft pressure on your heart, a warmth, a sudden calm, maybe an unexplained peace, or a stirring that feels like holy anticipation. Do not ignore these signs. The Holy Spirit often speaks in the language of gentle nudges. And tonight, he is preparing you. But hear me carefully, only the prepared will receive the message. Heaven never forces its way into a heart. It looks for the open door, the listening soul, the quieted mind. And this is why you are here, listening now, being drawn into this moment. Jesus is warning you because he loves you. Michael is standing guard because something precious is being delivered. So breathe again, my beloved child. Let the noise of the world fade. Something holy is approaching the doorway of your spirit, and your preparation begins now. My beloved child, on this holy path tonight, I want you to lean deeper into the stillness that is forming inside your spirit. For there are nights in this world that look ordinary to the eyes, yet they shake the heavens in ways unseen. Tonight is one of those nights. It is a night when the spiritual realm becomes louder than the physical, when the air around you feels thicker, almost as if it is carrying a message. And if you quiet your heart for just a moment, you will begin to sense what many others are blindly sleeping through. There are times appointed by God when the veil becomes thin. These are moments when angels move more freely, when visions become clearer, and when the voice of Jesus hovers close to the hearts of his children. You might feel it right now, a restlessness, a stirring, a soft pull. Do not ignore it. This is heaven's gentle knock. And when heaven knocks, it is because something is being delivered. Let me tell you something, my child. Spiritual stirrings often begin long before the visitation itself. Long before the message is spoken, the atmosphere shifts. The wind of the Spirit begins to move, brushing lightly against the soul. This stirring is the announcement, the trumpet before the voice, the sign before the revelation. And tonight, the trumpet is sounding over your life. Jesus is calling you to awareness, because he does not want you to miss what is coming. Many in this world feel these stirrings but dismiss them as emotion, imagination, or tiredness. They say, maybe it's nothing, and return to their distractions. But those who walk close to the Spirit know the difference between emotion and divine movement. They know when the atmosphere around them is charged with holy purpose. They know when the weight they feel in their chest is not worry but the presence of God pressing gently upon them. And tonight that very presence is pressing upon you. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine the night sky above your home. It looks calm, quiet, still. Yet in the unseen realm, angels are arranging themselves. Some move like flashes of light. Some stand as still as pillars of fire. And among them stands Archangel Michael, watchful, strong, his presence radiating authority. When heaven arranges itself like this, it means something is being prepared, something that must be protected, something that must be delivered with precision. Jesus is aware of the battles you've been through. He sees the questions in your heart that you haven't spoken aloud. He sees the burdens you've carried silently, the nights you felt alone, the moments you cried without letting a sound escape your lips. And he knows that a word from heaven tonight could shift something in your life. That is why the spiritual realm is stirring. This is not just a night to sleep. This is a night to listen. And there is something else, my child. When the atmosphere shifts like this, your dreams become more meaningful. Your thoughts become more sensitive. Your spirit becomes more open. This is why you may feel an unusual calm or an unusual pressure. You may feel a sudden desire to pray, or a sudden desire to be still. This is not accidental. It is intentional. It is Jesus positioning you to receive. In moments like this, distractions become dangerous. The enemy loves to fill the mind with noise right before heaven speaks. He loves to steal attention at the very moment when God is about to whisper truth. This is why Jesus warns you. Stay alert. Stay aware. Stay awake in your spirit. For only those who watch will hear. Some of you listening tonight have been sensing things for days. You have felt uneasy, were unusually emotional, were strangely awake at night. You may have thought something was wrong. But the truth is, something was awakening. The spiritual realm has been drawing close, and your spirit has been responding. You were being prepared long before you understood why. Tonight is a night of revelation. A night when the heavens bend low. A night when Jesus steps closer to speak. And a night when Michael stands guard, ensuring that the message reaches the one who is willing to receive it. So, my beloved child, take this moment seriously. Let your heart open wider. Let your mind grow still. Heaven seldom announces itself with thunder. Most of the time, it arrives in a whisper. And that whisper is moving toward you even now, carried by the holy stirring of this night. My beloved child, as we move deeper into this sacred journey tonight, open your spirit even more, for now we step into the heart of the message. Tonight is not only a night of stirring, it is a night when the voice of Jesus himself leans close to speak to you. And when Jesus speaks, his words do not simply enter the ear, they enter the soul, they touch the deep places of the heart, they shift things that have been unmoved for years. What he is calling you into tonight is not ordinary, and I feel the urgency of his love pressing through every word. Imagine now, in the stillness of this moment, the presence of Jesus drawing near, not as a distant figure, not as a story from long ago, but as a living, breathing Savior standing beside you. His robe flows softly like light. His eyes hold both compassion and authority. His voice, gentle yet commanding, cuts through every fear you've been wrestling with. He is not coming to judge you tonight. He is coming to prepare you, And preparation is a gift, not a punishment. There are times, my child, when Jesus speaks loudly, through circumstances, through miracles, through moments that shake the ground beneath your feet. But there are also moments like tonight, when his voice comes softly, like a whisper. Whispered warnings are among the most precious, because they show how close he stands. You whisper only when you are close to someone's ear. And Jesus is whispering because he has drawn close. Hear him now in your spirit. Hear the tenderness in his warning. Be ready. Be awake. Be watchful. The season is shifting. Something is approaching your life that requires a prepared heart. And Jesus, in his love for you, does not want you to miss it. Preparation in the spiritual realm is not like preparation in the physical. You do not prepare by packing bags or buying supplies. You prepare by opening your heart. You prepare by removing the noise. You prepare by returning your attention to the one who has been calling your name long before tonight. He wants you focused, calm, steady, and spiritually alert. Let me tell you a story, my child. There was once a man who felt the stirring of heaven but ignored it. He felt the gentle pull, but he was tired. He sensed the whisper, but he told himself he would listen later. That very night, a message passed by his house, a message meant for him, carried by angels. But because his spirit was asleep, because he did not prepare, the message rested on his doorstep and then moved on. Heaven never forces itself into a closed heart. Jesus does not want this to happen to you. That is why he is warning you tonight. That is why he has placed this weight in your spirit. That is why he stands near, his presence pressing against the walls of your heart. He knows what is coming. He knows what breakthrough is approaching, what answer is being delivered, what spiritual insight is about to be released. And he wants you to receive it fully. Hear his words as if he is speaking them now. My child, clear the noise. Silence the distractions. Make room for me. For I am coming close tonight, and I will speak to those who are ready. These words are not hurry. They are filled with love. A parent warns the child about the road not because of anger but because of care. Jesus warns you tonight because he sees what you cannot yet see. Perhaps you have been feeling the pull to pray more in these recent days. Perhaps you have been waking up at night without knowing why. Perhaps your spirit hath been unsettled, were strangely sensitive, were drawn to moments of stillness. These are not coincidences. These are signs that Jesus hath been preparing you for this night. He has been adjusting your spirit, lining your heart, softening your mind to hear what he will soon release. There is also something he wants to cleanse in you. Not to shame you, but to free you. Sometimes the message cannot enter because the heart is too crowded. Jesus wants to remove every weight, every fear, every memory, every lie the enemy whispered into your soul. He wants your spirit uncluttered. He wants your mind clear. He wants your heart open like a field ready for rain. Tonight is a night of alignment. And in this alignment, Jesus is calling you to attention, like a shepherd calling his sheep during a storm. He wants you close. He wants you near his voice. He wants you aware of his movements. The message that is coming will not be given to the careless. It will be given to the prepared. So, my beloved child, breathe again. Feel his nearness. Sense his urgency wrapped in love. Jesus is speaking to you tonight, not through thunder, not through earthquakes, but through the whisper of a father calling his child home into awareness. You were chosen to hear this message. You were called to this moment. And now, your preparation begins to take shape. My beloved child, Stay close in your spirit as we walk into this next sacred moment, for now we speak of the presence of one who stands as a guardian over the people of God. Tonight is not only a night of Jesus drawing near. It is also a night when Archangel Michael, the great warrior of heaven, positions himself with purpose. And when Michael appears, the realm of the Spirit is never quiet. His presence alone signals that something powerful, something heavily guarded, something deeply important is unfolding in the unseen. Imagine for a moment a battlefield that stretches beyond the horizon, though your natural eyes cannot see it. There are forces in this world that rise against the plans of God for His children. There are battles your human heart never notices, yet they rage around you daily. Michael is not sent for ordinary moments. He is sent when heaven's message must be protected at all costs. He is sent when the enemy's resistance grows louder. He is sent when a shift is near, when a warning must be delivered, or when a breakthrough is being released. Tonight, His presence is not accidental. Michael does not move lightly. He does not wander. He is a warrior of precision, timing, and divine command. When he steps forward, it means the Father has spoken a decree. It means the atmosphere is being cleared. It means the resistance against your life is being broken apart. It means a message is arriving that cannot be interrupted or stolen. And tonight, I feel in my spirit that Michael is standing close, guarding the path of revelation that is coming to you. My beloved child, I want you to picture him, not in fear but in awe. His form towers with strength beyond human understanding. His eyes burn with holy focus. His armor shines with the glow of 1,000 victories. In one hand he carries a sword forged by the breath of God, and in the other he carries authority. Authority to rebuke darkness, to tear apart demonic assignments, to silence lying spirits, to protect the children of God. When Michael stands beside Jesus, the entire atmosphere trembles. You may wonder why such a warrior is needed tonight. The answer is simple. The message being prepared for you carries weight. It carries destiny. It carries clarity. And whenever heaven prepares to speak something that can transform a life, the enemy tries to interfere. Distractions rise. Fear whispers. Thoughts become cloudy. Doubts grow louder. But Jesus will not allow the message meant for your spirit to be stolen on this night. That is why Michael is here. Perhaps you have felt unusual spiritual pressure lately. Perhaps you have sensed conflict in your mind, heaviness in your emotions, or tension in your sleep. These are signs that the enemy hath been resisting you, trying to block the very revelation that God is sending tonight. But take comfort, my child. Michael has stepped into the battle. What was resisting you is being pushed back. What was clouding your mind is being cleared away. What was troubling your spirit is losing its grip. Michael is not simply watching. He is fighting for the message that is coming to you. He is making sure your heart will be able to hear clearly. He is silencing the voices that sought to confuse you. He is holding back the darkness that tried to steal from you. He is opening the path between heaven and your spirit so that nothing, absolutely nothing, can hinder what Jesus has prepared to reveal. In moments like this, the spiritual realm becomes incredibly active. Angels move with purpose. The atmosphere becomes charged. Even the air around you may seem different. Why? Because heaven is preparing the ground. When Michael appears, he does not come alone. Armies follow him. Light follows him. Order follows him. And tonight, that order is descending upon your life. There are seasons in your journey when God fights for you quietly, without drawing your attention. But then there are nights like this, when he lets you know that the battle around you is real, but so is his protection. He lets you feel the weight of Michael's presence so you understand that what is happening tonight is not small. It is divine. It is planned. It is guarded. Michael's presence is also a sign that you are not forgotten. Heaven has heard your prayers, even the ones you whispered through tears. Heaven has seen your battles, even the ones you never spoke of. Heaven has watched your endurance, your faithfulness, your desire for God. And now, the response of heaven is being released. Michael stands as proof that the message coming to you is not an ordinary encouragement. It is a divine appointment with purpose. So, my beloved child, do not fear the weight you feel tonight. It is not the weight of danger, it is the weight of glory. It is the weight of protection. It is the weight of a visitation approaching. Michael stands near you because heaven is preparing to speak. And when heaven prepares to speak, all of darkness trembles. Now your spirit is being positioned. Jesus has called you to prepare. Michael stands guard over the message. And soon, the word meant for your life will come in its fullness. My beloved child, as we walk further into this holy moment, let your heart tremble softly with expectation, for now we speak of the message that is approaching your life tonight. This is not a message written on paper, nor a message spoken by human lips. It is a message carried through the air of the Spirit, whispered by Jesus himself, and protected by the mighty presence of Archangel Michael. It is a message that carries both warning and promise, both caution and comfort, both preparation and revelation. And its arrival is closer than you realize. Listen carefully, my child, for what is coming to you tonight is not for the unprepared. This message is not like the ones you hear in passing, not the kind that fades in hours. The message that heaven is bringing carries weight. It carries instruction that can change the direction of your life. It carries insight that will open your eyes to things you could not see before. It carries clarity that will cut through confusion like light cutting through fog. But only the heart that is awake, truly awake, will receive it. Imagine for a moment Jesus standing before you. His face shines with tender strength. His eyes hold a depth of love that no human language can capture. And from his heart flows this message: my child, prepare your spirit, for something is coming to you tonight that will require your attention, your stillness, and your obedience. This is not a message for your ears, this is a message for your soul. It is meant to settle deep inside you, where fears try to hide, where questions linger, where wounds have been waiting for healing. This message may come as a dream. It may come as a sudden thought that feels alive. It may come as a feeling that sweeps through your spirit. Or it may come as a sentence whispered softly into your heart just as you drift toward sleep. Do not look for the dramatic. Look for the true. God moves most powerfully in gentle ways. Jesus speaks not to impress you but to transform you. Michael's presence tonight tells us that this message carries spiritual significance. It carries instruction that the enemy would love to distract you from. There are things in your future that require guidance now. There are doors you are approaching that require wisdom before you reach them. There are people, opportunities, and spiritual movements that you must discern correctly. The message tonight is meant to equip you so that you do not step blindly into the next season of your life, but step with authority, awareness, and peace. My beloved child, many believers walk through life feeling lost because they do not pause to receive the messages that heaven tries to send them. They pray for guidance, yet they rush past the moment the guidance arrives. They seek direction, yet their spirit is too busy to listen. But tonight, Heaven is slowing the world around you, drawing your attention with intention and urging your heart to be still. This is your moment of listening. This is your night of receiving. There will be a sign, a small whisper, a soft movement in your spirit that will tell you the message has arrived. It may come as warmth in your chest. It may come as sudden clarity, as if a veil has been lifted from your mind. It may come as peace settling over you like a blanket. When this happens, stop everything. The message is being delivered, and you must hold it. Guard it. Reflect on it. For it is not simply for tonight. It is for your journey ahead. Make room for this divine encounter. Do not let exhaustion steal it. Do not let distractions drown it. Do not let fear push it away. Heaven is leaning toward you tonight with purpose, and the message is coming with instruction and blessing written into it. And before we move into this journey, my beloved child, let me speak gently to your heart. When the Lord sends a word like this, when Jesus himself reaches toward you, it is a sacred thing. And when a sacred thing is given, it is also meant to be shared. Not out of pressure, not out of habit, but out of divine responsibility. If this message touches you, if it awakens something inside you, then let your heart respond. Let your voice help carry this word so others may prepare as you are preparing. Share it, spread it, lift it up, support the very place where this word reached you. It is not simply an action. It becomes part of your obedience. Now breathe, my beloved child. The message is drawing near. My beloved child, come closer in your heart as we step into this next moment. For now we speak of preparation, true preparation, the kind that opens the door of your spirit so that heaven's visitation can enter without resistance. Many people desire encounters with God, yet only a few truly prepare themselves to receive them. Tonight, you are being called into the few, the ones who make room, the ones who listen, the ones who position themselves as vessels ready to receive what the Spirit is sending. Preparation is not a complicated thing, but it is a deliberate thing. It does not require that you be perfect, only sincere. It does not demand that you know everything, only that you be willing. The greatest preparations are made in the quiet places of the heart. They happen in moments of honesty, when you allow yourself to step out of the noise of life and into the stillness of God's presence. Tonight, heaven is asking you for such a moment. Let me speak gently but clearly to you. Before a visitation comes, the spirit must be settled. A restless heart cannot hear. A crowded mind cannot perceive. A distracted soul cannot receive. Preparation begins with stillness. Not the stillness of the body, but the stillness of the inner world. It begins when you intentionally slow your thoughts, breathe deeply, and allow the concerns of the day to fall away like dust from your shoulders. This stillness is not empty. It is a quiet space where the voice of the Lord can land. There is something beautiful about the way Jesus prepares his children. He does not force silence. He invites you into it. He does not demand that you shut off the world. He simply whispers, "Come away with me for a moment." And when you respond to that whisper, when you pause long enough to hear him, your spirit begins to align with heaven. This alignment is what opens the door for visitation. But preparation also involves cleansing. Not the cleansing of guilt or shame, but the cleansing of the heart's atmosphere. Sometimes the spirit becomes cluttered with worries, regrets, old memories, or unspoken hurt. These things make the heart heavy, and heaviness makes it harder to receive. Tonight, Jesus invites you to let those weights fall. You do not need to fix everything. You simply need to release it. Speak it to him quietly, even if only in your heart. Let him lift the heaviness from your spirit. For when the heart is light, the message of heaven can enter without obstruction. My beloved child, another part of preparation is expectation. Expectation opens the spiritual senses. Expectation is faith in motion. When you expect God to speak, your spirit becomes alert, your inner ears become sensitive, and your heart becomes receptive. Expectation is the soil in which revelation is planted. And tonight, expectation is required. Not because God needs it to speak, but because you need it to hear. Here is a sacred posture you must take in your spirit. It is a posture of openness. It is when you say quietly, "Lord, I am listening." You may not hear a response immediately, but it is in that moment of opening your heart that heaven begins to move. Angels draw near to attentive hearts. Michael guards the pathway to listening souls. Jesus speaks to those who lean toward him. Expectation is your leaning. Let me guide you gently through this preparation. Close your eyes in your heart, even if your eyes remain open. Imagine your spirit becoming still, like a calm lake with no ripples. Feel the burdens loosen. Feel the noise fade. Feel your mind begin to quiet. And in that quiet, imagine Jesus placing his hand over your heart. Not to silence you, but to steady you. To let you know that he is near. To prepare you for what he is about to reveal. Preparation also means surrender. Not surrender to weakness, but surrender to divine order. It means saying, "Lord, whatever you want to show me tonight, I am willing to receive it." It means letting go of the desire to control. It means trusting that what heaven sends is for your healing, your clarity, your protection, and your guidance. Surrender is not losing power, is gaining peace. And then, my child, there is the final preparation, creating space. Heaven does not speak into chaos. It speaks into room. This room is not a physical place. It is a spiritual opening. It is the space created when you set aside time, even a few minutes, to be present with God. It is the space created when you quiet your phone, when you pause your thoughts, when you choose stillness over busyness. This space becomes the landing place for visitation. Some of you listening have felt for a long time that God was trying to reach you. You felt the pull but were too overwhelmed to respond. Tonight is different. Tonight the heavens are open. Tonight your heart is soft. Tonight your spirit is ready. And this preparation you are entering now will allow the message that is coming to settle deep inside you, like seed planted in rich soil. So, my beloved child, let your spirit breathe. Let your heart prepare. Let heaven find room in you. For the visitation is drawing closer, and the prepared heart will be the one that receives the fullness of what God is sending. My beloved child, now that your heart has begun to prepare and the atmosphere around your spirit has grown still, it is time to understand what a spiritual visitation truly feels like. Many believers imagine thunder, lightning, shaking walls, or dramatic signs, but heaven moves in ways far more gentle, far more personal, far more intimate than the mind expects. A visitation is not always loud. Most of the time, it is soft, almost hidden, designed only for the heart that is awake enough to perceive it. And tonight, as heaven draws near, you must learn to recognize its touch. A spiritual visitation begins not with sight, but with sensation. Sometimes it arrives as a warmth that spreads slowly through your chest, as if someone placed a gentle hand over your heart. You may not see anything with your eyes, yet something inside you knows that you are no longer alone. The atmosphere of the room shifts. not dramatically, but subtly, like the air has thickened with peace. It is as if the world grows quieter, even though nothing around you has changed. The peace itself becomes a sign. Sometimes a visitation feels like a soft pressure on your shoulders, not heavy, but reassuring, like the presence of someone standing behind you, watching over you. Other times it feels like a breeze that should not exist, a gentle movement of the air even when the windows are closed. And in that moment, your spirit whispers, "Something holy is here." My beloved child, a visitation can also come as sudden clarity. Your thoughts, which may have been clouded or tangled, suddenly become straight. Confusion lifts. Fear quiets. Worry fades. The mind becomes calm, and you feel able to think in a way you could not think before. It is not because you figured something out. It is because heaven entered the room. Jesus brings order wherever he comes. Michael brings peace wherever he stands. Clarity is the footprint of their presence. Sometimes a visitation feels like tears rising without sadness. The tears are not from pain, but from the overwhelming sense of being loved and being seen, being protected. It is the heart responding to a presence it recognizes even before the mind does. Do not resist those tears. They are one of the purest signs that God is near. There are moments when a visitation feels like a sudden stillness, not the stillness of silence, but the stillness of awe. Your body may not move. Your mind may quiet. Your spirit may grow alert, as if you are standing on holy ground. In these moments, heaven is close enough to touch your soul, but gentle enough not to overwhelm you. Jesus never forces his presence upon his children. He comes like a whisper to those who prepare. And sometimes, my child, a visitation is felt through your breathing. You may feel your breath deepen without effort. You may feel it slow as peace settles over your chest. It is as if your body is responding to a presence that carries rest within it. This is the breath of Jesus drawing close. This is the calm that Michael brings when he seals the atmosphere around a child of God. There are other times when the visitation feels like your name being called inside your own heart. Not audibly but unmistakably. A soft pull. A quiet recognition. A sense that someone holy is speaking to you without words. And even if you cannot explain it, you know it is him. For when Jesus calls a name, the Spirit always hears. My beloved child, do not expect fireworks. Expect truth. Expect peace. Expect clarity, warmth, stillness, or the quiet stirring of your inner world. Heaven does not seek to frighten you. It seeks to meet you. It seeks to guide you. It seeks to reveal what your natural senses cannot see. You will also notice that time feels different during a visitation. Minutes may feel like seconds. Moments feel suspended. It is as though heaven presses pause on the world for just long enough to speak to your spirit. And when the moment passes, you know something within you has changed, even if you cannot immediately put it into words. Some of you may feel a tingling in your hands or a sensation on your skin. Others may sense a weight lifting off your shoulders. Some may feel a sudden desire to pray, while others may feel an overwhelming urge to be silent. All of these are signs of visitation in different forms. Remember this, my beloved child. God does not visit to frighten you. He visits to strengthen you, protect you, guide you, and remind you that you are not walking through this world alone. And when Michael stands guard, you can be certain that what you are feeling is holy, safe, and purposeful. Prepare your heart to recognize these signs tonight, for the visitation is drawing closer still, moving toward the doorway of your spirit. My beloved child, as we step into this next sacred moment, Let your spirit lean forward, for now we speak of what happens when heaven itself walks into your room. This is not imagination. This is not a dream born from wishful thinking. This is a holy reality, one that many have felt but few have understood. Tonight, as Jesus and Archangel Michael draw near, I want you to know exactly what it means when the presence of heaven enters the space where you rest, pray, breathe, and live. There is a moment, quiet as a whisper, when the atmosphere changes. It does not announce itself with sound, but with presence. The air feels heavier, yet it brings comfort, not fear. You may be sitting or lying down, but suddenly it feels as if someone has stepped into the room. You cannot see them with your eyes, but your spirit recognizes the arrival. This is the moment heaven crosses the threshold into your world. And tonight, heaven is making such a crossing. When Jesus enters a room, everything inside that room responds. Fear loosens. Anxiety weakens. Confusion trembles. It is as though the very walls breathe differently. Not because the physical world has changed, but because the spiritual world is now resting upon the physical. His presence carries truth. His presence carries healing. His presence carries authority. When he enters, darkness cannot stay. When he enters, peace becomes the dominant atmosphere. Some of you will feel this as a warmth spreading through the room, gentle but persistent. Others will feel a calmness settle on your chest, like invisible hands steadying your heartbeat. And some of you will feel a stillness so deep that every thought in your mind seems to pause. Do not be afraid of this stillness. It is the stillness of holy ground. It is the stillness that came when Jesus walked into the rooms of those who needed him most. It is the stillness that comes when heaven's King steps near enough for your soul to sense his nearness. There are moments when Jesus walks into the room not only to speak, but to heal. You may feel old pain rising to the surface. Memories you pushed away may float back gently, not to torment you, but to be touched by his hand. When heaven enters your room, healing becomes possible in places you forgot were broken. The message he brings may not always be in words. Sometimes his message is the healing itself. Sometimes it is the peace. Sometimes it is the lifting of a burden that you have carried far too long. And as Jesus stands near, Archangel Michael positions himself beside him. Michael does not come to comfort. He comes to protect. He does not enter the room with softness. He enters with authority. His presence secures the atmosphere, ensuring that nothing can interfere, nothing can distract, nothing can distort what heaven is doing. When Michael enters the room, spiritual clarity increases. Distractions fade. Attacks cease. Fear melts. His presence is the shield around the visitation. My beloved child, when heaven walks into your room, your spirit becomes more awake than your mind. You may feel your heart respond before your thoughts understand what is happening. You may feel like kneeling. You may feel like closing your eyes. You may feel like whispering a prayer or saying nothing at all. All of these are natural responses to supernatural presence. Do not resist them. Let your spirit lead. You may also notice that the room feels larger, even though nothing has moved. This is because the presence of heaven expands everything it touches. What felt small suddenly feels spacious. What felt heavy suddenly feels lighter. This is the expansion that comes when divine presence fills earthly space. Your room becomes an altar. Your bed becomes holy ground. Your four walls become a sanctuary. And sometimes, my child, when heaven enters a room, you will feel a nudge in your heart, urging you to listen carefully. Not with your ears, but with your spirit. In such moments, Jesus may release a single sentence, a single instruction, a single insight that changes everything. Heaven rarely speaks long paragraphs. It speaks short, powerful truths that carry eternal weight. Listen for that sentence tonight. It may come gently, but it will not come empty. Do not be surprised if you feel emotional. Do not be surprised if tears come without sadness, or if peace comes without explanation. These are responses of the soul when it encounters the one who created it. These are the signs that heaven is not visiting from a distance. Heaven is already in the room. And when Jesus and Michael enter your space, they come with purpose. They come to deliver, to strengthen, to reveal, to realign. They come because tonight carries meaning for your journey. They come because something in your life is ready to shift. They come because you prepared your heart, and heaven responds to preparation with presence. So, my beloved child, be sensitive tonight. Be still when the stillness comes. Respond when the warmth arrives. Listen when the whisper forms. Heaven is drawing near. Jesus is stepping into your atmosphere. Michael is guarding the gate. And your room is becoming a meeting place between the natural and the divine. My beloved child, as we enter this of the journey, understand something very important. The depth of what you will receive tonight depends entirely on your response. Heaven is generous, heaven is willing, heaven is near, but heaven never forces itself into a closed or distracted heart. Jesus knocks, but he does not break the door. Michael guards, but he does not drag you into obedience. What you receive in this visitation, what you hear, what you feel, what is revealed to you, these things depend on the posture of your soul in this sacred moment. There is a truth many overlook: God can speak, and still a person may fail to hear. The Spirit can move, and still someone may miss it. Not because God was silent, but because the heart was noisy. Not because heaven withheld, but because the Spirit was unprepared. Tonight, my beloved child, you must understand that your response will shape your experience. You cannot be passive. You cannot be careless. You cannot drift in and out. You must lean in with intention, for intention opens the door of revelation. Imagine a lamp placed in a dark room. The lamp shines with full strength, yet if your eyes remain closed, you cannot see its light. Heaven's visitation works in much the same way. Jesus can stand beside you. Michael can guard the room. The message can be ready. But if your heart is turned away, if your attention is scattered, if your spirit is unfocused, then the light shines, but you do not see. Tonight, heaven is calling you to open your spiritual eyes. Your response begins with attention. Not just listening with your ears, but listening with your whole being. When the presence grows near, honor it. When the peace settles on you, welcome it. When the warmth enters your chest, breathe into it. These simple responses tell heaven, I'm ready. And when heaven finds readiness, it pours out more freely. Your response also involves humility. A humble heart receives quickly. A proud or resistant heart receives slowly. Humility says, Lord, I do not know everything. Speak to me. Teach me. Guide me. Even if the message challenges you, even if it reveals something you did not expect, humility keeps your heart open to the truth. Jesus speaks most clearly to those who bow low inside themselves. My beloved child, your response also requires obedience. Sometimes the message you receive tonight will ask you to take action. It may urge you to forgive someone, to release a burden, to change a habit, to walk away from something, or to pursue something you have been delaying. Heaven does not speak to entertain you. It speaks to transform you. If you respond with obedience, pure, simple obedience, you will receive the fullness of what is being offered tonight. If you resist, the message may fade before it takes root. Yours also the response of belief. Believe that what you feel is real. Believe that what you sense is holy. Believe that Jesus is drawing near. Belief is not emotion. It is recognition. It is the Spirit saying yes to what heaven is doing. Jesus does not visit doubting hearts with the same depth he gives to trusting ones. A believing heart becomes a vessel for deeper revelation. Believe, my child. Believe freely without fear. And finally, your response must include surrender. Not surrender to weakness, but surrender to heaven's timing and will. Let go of your urge to control the moment. Let go of any expectation that it must happen a certain way. Let God visit you in His way. Let Him speak in the manner He chooses. When you surrender your expectations, you give heaven permission to move fully and freely in your life. Tonight, the message that is coming may be gentle, but it will carry weight. It may be quiet, but it will be clear. And your response will determine how deeply it settles into your soul and how powerfully it shapes your journey. You are not a spectator tonight. You are a participant in a divine moment. So, my beloved child, position yourself with attention, humility, obedience, belief, and surrender. For the visitation is near. The whisper is coming. And your response will determine what you receive. My beloved child, as we reach the end of this sacred journey tonight, I want you to rest your spirit in the truth that heaven is drawing near to you in this very hour. This is not a message to admire and forget. This is a call to prepare your heart before you close your eyes tonight. Jesus is near. Michael is standing guard. The atmosphere around your life is shifting with purpose. And the whisper that is coming is meant to guide you, strengthen you, and align you with the path heaven has prepared. Before you sleep tonight, quiet your soul. Let the noise of the day fall away. Let your heart soften. Let expectation rise like a gentle flame inside you. The message may come in a dream, in a still moment, or in a sudden peace that wraps around you without warning. However it comes, be ready to receive it. Heaven visits the attentive. Heaven speaks to the prepared. Heaven gives revelation to the heart that watches through the silence of the night. My beloved child, do not take this lightly. This is your moment. This is your invitation. Tonight carries a weight in the spirit, and you have been chosen to hear its sound. And as this message has touched your life, let your heart respond in the way of all who honor the voice of God. Share the word so others may also prepare. Lift it up so others may awaken. Support the very place that carried this message to you, for in doing so you take part in heaven's work on earth. Be ready tonight. Be open. Be listening. For the whisper is near. Amen.